Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm making a video response to a video by Lawnboys Posts 1975, and I guess technically this is another video response to one of his videos, but the first one I actually responded to a response to his video, so this time I'm responding directly to his video. You know, it's really hot here right now, today. I live in Vermont, and it's the middle of April right now. And just to put this into perspective, I actually looked up the weather right now. It's 82 degrees. And to some people that probably doesn't seem very hot. I mean, in the middle of summer, that's a really reasonable temperature. But the middle of April in Vermont is essentially winter. Like, the average high is 56 degrees. And the record high is 82 degrees. So this is a record-breaking heat that I'm sitting in right now, and I'm just, you know, it feels very summer-like, and I'm just not very happy about it. So I decided to do a video. So this is a response to what game did you just really love, really like back in the day that maybe, you know, it didn't get reviewed that well, and, you know, maybe the rest of the world didn't get it, but, you know, you just loved it, and you really think it deserved a sequel that it never got. And I think that this game qualifies. It's definitely one of those games that the reviewers, I wouldn't say they didn't treat it fairly, but it was, you know, they didn't quite get it. It wasn't well reviewed in the kind of way that I would have, just because I loved it so much. It's so unique and has such an interesting sense of humor. And it's also kind of survival horror themed, and from a similar era to Lawnboy Post 1975's pick, which was Killing Time, I believe. Mine is not Killing Time, it is Illbleed on the Dreamcast. I am a Dreamcast fan, and this is one of my absolute favorite games on the Dreamcast. Illbleed is just excellent, and it's one of those games that I didn't get at first either. You know, it took me a little bit, and I think it really takes getting through the first level in particular. You don't really get it in the first level. You play it, and you're just like, the boss in the end of the first level is really weird. It's one of the stranger bosses in the entire, I forget, there's like a trick to it or something. But it's a really unique game. And what I like about it, I think, is its sense of humor, and it's just, like, it's really, you know, macabre. You start off with this girl in high school, and she has this group of friends. I almost think they have like an occult club or something like that. So anyway, they decide to go down to this amusement park, where, you know, they say it's the scariest amusement park ever, and you know, if you survive it, like literally, you can win $10,000 or something like that. So they all go to this amusement park, and so you don't hear from them. So you playing as this girl, the main character, you go to the amusement park, and it is Illbleed. So the whole gameplay revolves around finding traps that are interspersed throughout these levels, and each of the levels is like, it's like B-movie themed. So they choose like, it's just like the most ridiculous sort of B-movie premise, and the names they're hysterical. The first one is like, you know, the home run of terror or something like that. I mean, they're named like old, I don't know, like 1920s horror pulp, you know, stories and stuff like that. It's just, they're really neat. So you play through these levels, and you have to uncover these traps. You can essentially get scared to death. So in order to not be scared to death as you go through Illbleed, you have to disarm these traps, which I think you have some sort of like scope that you can get to find the traps and stuff like that. It's been quite a while since I played it, but I remember what really got me about the game is when you get to a certain level, and it's like you're backstage. So I mean, they never drop this like amusement park premise. So you've been going through this game. I mean, it's kind of pretty creepy, and like, I don't know, there's lots of gore, and it's just, it's really cool. And you get to this one level and you're like backstage, so you see like the costumes hanging on the wall for like the people that work at the amusement park that have been like playing these enemies and stuff that you've been fighting like for your life against throughout this whole game. And you get these cutscenes with the guys like running, this boss that you've been fighting that you kind of take at face value. You see the cutscene of the guys in the back like running the animatronics controls for it and stuff, and it's so unique. And some of the stuff is genuinely creepy too. Like you can augment yourself so that you are less likely to die. So like you can have your heart surgically replaced with like a stronger, artificial heart, as less prone to having a heart attack. And they have this great cutscene where they show you dumped on a stretcher and like rushed into the operating room, and this is at the equivalent of like a carnival stand. Like it's like you're getting surgery done by like the guys that would be running the concessions or something. There's just something like fundamentally so disturbing about that whole concept of, I don't know, having surgery done on yourself at an amusement park. So it's just a really interesting, unique game that definitely, I think, is underappreciated, or was underappreciated in its time. Really deserved a sequel, and it's a sad story too. I think this game in particular, why it didn't get a sequel. The creator that made it, his name was Shinya Nishigaki, and it seems like worked in the games industry for quite a while, and he became the CEO of the company Climax Graphics, who ended up doing Blue Stinger and Illbleed on the Dreamcast. And he passed away when he was 42, not so long after the release of Illbleed. So that was really tragic, a tragic loss to the video games industry, to be sure. It boded ill for a sequel to Illbleed in any way, shape, or form. And I guess the company was absorbed into another company, I believe it was Cavia, but really an Illbleed sequel is not in the cards. And it is well loved enough that there was talk of a homebrew sequel to Illbleed that some people were working on, but it looks like that kind of fell through. I was reading on the internet, it sounds like the page was taken down in 2006, so no luck there. But anyways, Illbleed is my pick for a game that definitely deserved some better scores when it first came out, and definitely a really, really cool game that deserved a sequel. And Shinya Nishigaki actually worked on Landstalker, which is playing behind me. I did not realize it has the world's most boring title screen ever, playing on my Genesis back here, and the other game is Crossbow on the Atari 7800. So thank you very much, Lawn Boys Post 1975, for your question. I think it's a really great question, and thank you very much for watching.